there. My name is Suze, and I work with women to help them find balance between their internal masculine and feminine energies so that they can have lives that feel really emotionally fulfilling, full of love and connection. So, today I want to talk about the idea that the feminine goes first. And I want to reiterate as we get into this conversation, I want to really reiterate that as I'm speaking about the feminine and the masculine, there's two different ways to look at this of the feminine and the masculine, okay? Because too often, women who are identifying as feminines, we women tend to hyper focus on the relationship and think that the relationship is the thing to be achieved when actually you are the thing to be achieved. Your own balance and healing and total integration of your own inner masculine and feminine energies. That is the goal, and that should be the focus. That should really be the focal highlight in this journey of healing and relationship growth, relationship healing, and deeper emotional intimacy, deeper connection in relationship. It starts in here. You have already your own inner masculine energy that needs to be healed and reintegrated with your healed feminine energy. And until you start looking at yourself in that way, taking that responsibility and really looking inward at what's happening with your own energies, you have to do that first to then have the external relationship with your masculine move in the direction that you want. So I want to reiterate that really powerfully before we step into this conversation. So, having said that, I want to talk about the feminine goes first. And I'm going to switch gears for a minute, and I want to talk about the external relationship with the masculine figure, human being in your life, and talk about that external relationship dynamic first, because I feel like it's a lot easier to understand these things in the external realm, and then we can kind of pull it inward and work on it internally. But how most of us with feminines are wired, we're so outwardly focused on relationship and relational connection. We're so focused on that it's easier to focus on that and understand things there first and then see how it plays out internally. Okay, so going to the relationship outside of you as the feminine, I'm assuming if you're here listening to me in this channel, you identify as the one with the feminine core, and the person you're in relationship with or desire to be in relationship with, it has the masculine core. So that in that frame, I want to reference a video I did recently. I titled it "The Problem with Boundaries in a Relationship." At the very, very tail end of that video, I dropped a little hint that I'm building on now. And I said that the 3D physical, human, concrete world is ruled by the masculine energy. Masculine energy has mastered the 3D world because it is very much that, okay? But the feminine rules the world of the emotions, of the spiritual, of the ethereal, of the energies. She rules that world. So, if you really think about that and peel back what that means, if the feminine rules the energetic, emotional, spiritual world, and the feminine in the human world, she is desiring a deeper relationship, a deeper connection, growth, and healing in her relationship. She's going to have to go first because that's in her kingdom, her world, her domain, her wheelhouse, so to speak. She has to step into it first because she has the greater power there. Now, going even deeper into this, what are we saying by exactly? If we're saying the feminine is going first in something, we're kind of alluding to the fact that she's taking on the leadership role. And again, not to be confused in the 3D world. In the human external world, She's not leading, because that's the whole point. If you want a masculine man, you want him to lead, right? But in the internal emotional world, you have to lead because that is your kingdom, that is your domain. And as a woman, we all know women are more emotional than men, right? And I'm generalizing here, but we know that women in general are more emotional than men, which means you have a greater capacity to learn how to navigate and deal with emotions because you deal with them more throughout a day. Now, let's think about leadership. Two types of leadership: toxic, unhealthy leadership, and healthy leadership. Toxic leadership leads through fear. Fear. Getting people to follow you because they're afraid something bad will happen if they don't, right? Clearly, that's not what I'm about. Healthy leadership, what happens there? Healthy leadership gets what some would say is buy-in. Healthy leadership earns the trust of the followers so that the followers feel safe in following wherever the leader wants to go. Now think about that. How can you create emotional safety in your relationship to build trust so that the masculine would want to follow you into a growth place in your relationship? Think about that. Are you willing to take on that responsibility of building the trust and the safety and taking on the leadership role? Again, clearly another one of the key components of healthy leadership is that a healthy leader doesn't blame and point fingers at the other people when something doesn't go well, or there's some dysfunction somewhere, or they know something's not right. They don't blame the other people. They take responsibility for the problem and figure out how to navigate it in a healthy, trustful, loving, respectful way and fix the problem. Are you willing to step into that role? And if you're not willing to step into that role, then I don't think you have any business complaining about your relationship, because you're denying yourself your power as the feminine, and you're expecting someone else to do something that is a lot harder for them, really. And what if the other person in the dynamic isn't even aware that something could be better? Did you ever consider that? So often I find that women are shamed. Women are shamed for seeing potential in men. Now, clearly, this is a dangerous subject and a very fine line, right? Where you can see the potential in a man and it can be your demise. Yes. And so there's a lot of shame around that. But what if seeing potential is a core, key, divine feminine trait? You can see the potential of your relationship and where it could go, what it could become, how it could evolve and expand and get deeper. You can see the potential of your man. You can see how big and beautiful and bold and masculine he can be. Are you willing to learn how to inspire that out of him? And is he willing to go there? Those are the questions on the table. Not shaming a woman for doing what the feminine innately knows how to do, of seeing potential in anything. Feminine energy is expansion, creation, energy. So you will innately, intuitively be able to see potential for growth and making things better in the world of emotions and spirituality and energy and the ethereal, unseen world of relationships and emotions. This is not to be shamed. It's to be learned how to healthily and appropriately navigate that road of seeing potential and helping the other person plug into it, see the potential themselves, believe in the potential themselves, and follow you in that place towards potential, inspiring towards potential. That's where the feminine needs to step into, and the feminine has to go first by creating emotional safety. Now, if you don't know how to create emotional safety for yourself, we're taking this internally now. If you don't know how to create emotional safety for yourself in the waves of your own emotions, how are you going to do it for someone else? You can't. Which is why working on your own emotional healing is everything. Again, talking about the self and the energies within yourself, again, think about this. Most women that I know, myself included, who are on this journey, most women that I've worked with, most women that I've even heard talking on YouTube, it starts with a woman switching in her life. Something triggers, it's usually physical. Something usually happens physically to the woman and her body. Something's unhealthy or something's bad physically with her body to get her attention to want to change her life. Usually is the first moment. Something happens. Sometimes it's an emotional thing too, some emotional catastrophe. But the women with the feminine core, the ones that I know of, the journey starts with healing the feminine anyway internally. It starts with the woman looking at her own feminine energy internally and deciding to go there. I've shared in my journey, the little bits I've shared in previous videos, that I was in my masculine for the large majority of my life. And the journey that brought me to where I am today started on the day that I decided to allow myself to learn my feminine side, let my feminine side be seen, let my feminine lead the way to my healing, to my growth, to my own spiritual ascension journey. The feminine goes first because the feminine feels, and you have to feel to heal. The feminine feels all the things, learns how to create safety in the chaos of the feelings, and from there learns how to lead forward. The feminine goes first. The question is, do you believe in yourself enough and your vision and what you see for the potential? Do you believe in it enough to actually step forward first? Are you willing to hold the vision of what you see is possible long enough and believe in it long enough to manifest it, to create it, to birth it out from inside of you? Are you willing to step into that role? And do you believe in all of that enough? I'm going to leave this video here. I really hope this helped. If you found value in it, please drop a comment below and subscribe. I've been really appreciating those of you who do leave comments. It's really encouraging to see other women who are on a journey and understanding and resonating with my message. I so appreciate you who've been jumping in and sharing with me as well. Thank you so much and have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.